I was in the kitchen eating fruit with my host family, and I was like, ew, this mango is really mushy. And my host mom and my host sister looked at me and they were like, what did you just say? And welcome back to my channel. My name is Montana and thank you so much for clicking on this video. I was an exchange student in Germany this past year and now I make YouTube videos on German and American culture. Today I will be exposing myself a little on the stranger or weirder ways that I learned German. I learned German in about 7 months to the point where I could consider myself fluent, at least conversationally, perhaps not grammatically, but this is kind of a more funny video, so even if you do speak German, I'm sure you'll find it entertaining because I did some kind of embarrassing but smart things in order to learn German so fast, and I figured I would share them with you. I've got a few stories along the way as well. In addition to this video, I will be releasing an actual German tips video that is more serious and will probably help you more if you're trying to learn a language. But this one is just, like I said, a bit funnier. So the first one that I have is date someone or talk to someone who is German, and you could use these tips for any language that you're trying to learn. Oh my gosh, I'm already feeling uncomfy. But I talk to some people in German and it's kind of funny because you're texting them and you're trying to be flirty, but also like at the time my German skills were so bad. So they would say something and I would be like, oh shoot, like copy, and then I would put it in Google Translate and then translate it to English and then write my response in the best German I could, but then put that into Google Translate as well. And so finding people to talk to who you actually want to talk to in German was really helpful for me, and it was just kind of a funny way to learn German because I was learning words that were much more conversational than in school. If you need a tip for like finding a German boy, then I would suggest, what can I say on this video? I would say school, going out on the street, cafes, Tinder, Bumble, any online dating apps. They have those in Germany too. Yeah, find yourself a German man and you will become fluent. Not that I did. Another one that I thought was funny that I did was, I have them written down. I said, listen to people speaking German and write down the words however you think they sound in your language, and then get your German friends to figure out what you mean. So this is what I did with my friends in school. I would sit through a lecture and did not understand like any of this. I went to a German gymnasium, if you guys didn't know that, and I would sit there and write down whatever I would hear because I just did not understand like anything, but I would write it down in English, like however I heard it, and then a lot of my friends spoke English or knew it very well, so they would read my words out and then reverse them into German and try to figure out what I was hearing. And surprisingly, this helped a lot. So if you can find some German friends willing to do that for you, I would highly recommend it, because it was just words that I would hear in the lecture over and over and over again, and I would be like, what is that word? So like one of them was trotzdem, which I just kept hearing my teachers use that word, but I had no clue how to spell it, no clue what it meant. So that was one of the words I used for that, and definitely other ones as well. My next thing that I have is sorry you guys can't really do this right now because of coronavirus, but going to like German clubs or anywhere where they play a lot of German music, and then just listening to the music and then finding whichever songs you really like and then going home, looking up those lyrics and trying to learn them. I definitely did this with really cringe songs. So like I definitely did this with like Apache. You're more immersed in the culture part and you feel like you're learning words that you're actually going to use. Perhaps a lot of bad words too, but that was one thing I struggled with a lot because my friends would just cuss in German and then I wouldn't realize it was cussing necessarily, or like that it was inappropriate slang language, and then I wouldn't know what to say. My friends would say, shut the blank up, and then shut up. Shut up isn't really a bad term. It's not nice, but it's not a bad term to say, but then shut the up is kind of bad, and I could never remember which was which. because it's both like haldi and then the word. So that was bad, and I honestly still don't know which is which. But don't write that in the comment section below, because that could be bad. The next one that I have is offer to give your entire class a presentation on the American healthcare system versus German healthcare system, despite not knowing anything about either of them and only living in Germany for 2 months. I went to school and everybody wanted me to give presentations on American culture, but I never really knew what to put in them. So all I'm thinking of right now is when I made like my whole class get on the floor and do a tornado drill. That was just so weird, but I really rehearsed for these presentations because I didn't want people to think I was dumb. And so I guess a way for someone else to do this that's not my personal experience is find something where you're really going to have to rehearse your German or give a presentation and you care about not looking like a fool, because then you really force yourself to learn the words, learn the vocab, write out what you're gonna say, present it, and you're speaking so much, and that really helped me learn. Also, I didn't really know much about the American healthcare system, and I didn't know anything about the German healthcare system, but after that presentation, I knew a bit more on both, and also I knew all these weird words like Krankenheitsversicherung or something like that. That's like healthcare insurance. Having some big thing to make you have to learn the language and speak all these random vocab words, like when in the world would I actually learn healthcare insurance words if it wasn't for that presentation? I don't know. That's one way I learned German. And then another way that's like a kind of stranger way to learn German, or just not really strange, it's like something awkward that I had to do but really helped me learn, was call out people who would only speak to me in English. Definitely call out people if you're living in Germany or if you're living in the country that you're trying to learn the language of. Call them out and be like, can you please not speak to me in English? If you want to have English conversations, we could do that at some other time, but just on the day-to-day normal life conversations, can we please speak in German? That way I can learn. I had friends who would really correct me, like my one friend Melanie would always tell me when I made mistakes, and it was super duper helpful. If you can find friends or people who are willing to do that, then run with it and be so thankful, because they are the ones who are improving your German or improving your language skills so much. In order to learn German, I think you really just need to make mistakes, and it's like the worst mistakes that are the ones that help you remember things the best. The one that I have written down is, I have some bad ones written down because there are also cultural words in English that you cannot say in German because they don't mean the same things. And I found this out the hard way. I was in the kitchen eating fruit with my host family, and I was like, ew, this mango is really mushy. And turns out mushy is a really bad word in German, and you're not supposed to use that word. And my host mom and my host sister looked at me and they were like, what did you just say? And I was like, I literally said, yeah, it's really mushy. It was squishy, it was gross. And they were just like, Montana, you cannot say that here. And I was like, oh, okay. So then I never used that word again in Germany. And if you are curious as to what it is, it starts with a P in English, and please feel free to look it up on your own, but I will not be saying it in this video. If you use words wrong and then are corrected, embarrassed from it, then I swear you will always remember not to use the word or what the right word is. Another time I did this was with the word Aufsatz. It means essay, and I was like, oh, like I have to write an essay. But I switched up the word Aufsatz with Auschwitz. And again, my host mom was like, Montana, you can't keep switching up these words because they mean very different things. And so that was another mistake that I never made again. I think some of these are actually good tips if you're trying to learn a language, like talking to somebody who speaks the language, or it could just be a friend. It doesn't need to be a romantic interest. Or listening to the music, of course, those are good ideas. I swear these things really did help me. And if you have any other questions about learning languages, let me know. Like I said, I will be making a more serious real ways to learn the language video. So make sure you like and subscribe if you're interested in seeing that one or in seeing any of my other videos. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys have a great day. Bleib gesund und tschüss.